The Elkins High School Theater Department presents The Monkey's Paw, a radio play. Story by W. Jacobs. Adapted by Jennifer Armstrong.
Not a smart move, Herbert.
We'll see.
I stand corrected. Listen to the wind.
That's the worst part of living so far out. Of all the awful places to live in, we had to land here. Can't walk on the path without getting covered head to toe with mud. The road's a river, and there's no neighbors within a mile.
Never mind, dear. What do you say we finish this game, Herbert, before our guest arrives?
It sure is coming down hard out there. I can't imagine anyone would want to visit in this weather.
The man's been stationed all over the world, dear. He can handle a little rain.
I'd hardly call this a little rain.
What, dear?
Oh, nothing. Just focus on your chess game.
Ha! Checkmate!
Well, I'll make a chess player out of you yet, son.
Why, that must be him.
I told you he'd be fine.
Sergeant Major Morris, how lovely to see you. Do come in and sit by the fire so you can dry off.
Don't mind if I do, ma'am.
I was awful sorry to hear of your recent loss, Sergeant.
That's very kind of you to say, Mrs. White. Thank you. Evening, Herbert.
Sergeant Major.
Haven't seen you since you were just a wee thing. You've grown into a strapping young lad.
Thank you, sir.
Awfully nice of you to visit, especially in this weather.
Nonsense. Just a bit of rain.
Tea, Mr. Morris?
Oh, no, I'm fine. Thank you.
Perhaps something a bit stronger then, eh, old fellow?
Well, all right then.
Here you go, sir.
Oh, now that takes the chill out. Thank you.
Tell us what you've been up to, Morris. Haven't seen you in, what?
21 years, I dare say, since I last stepped foot in your part of the countryside. We were just young lads then, working in the factories.
That's what I'm doing now, sir.
Well done, Herbert. Well done. It's awful work, but it builds character.
What did you do when you left?
Went into the service, joined the military, put myself to the good use of the country.
Morris here was just a thin young man when he left. Now look at him.
He certainly looks like he hasn't taken any harm.
I'd like to travel a bit myself. Just to look around a bit, you know?
You're better off staying where you are.
Why's that, Sergeant?
Now, Herbert, we mustn't pry.
I should like to travel a bit myself before I get too old. Naturally, you'd be ready to settle down a bit, Morris, with all the things you've seen, but what about the rest of us? Now, not even a fortnight ago, you wrote such a strange tale. What was it again? Something about a monkey's paw?
No, that was nothing. Nothing worth hearing at any rate.
And why's that?
Monkey's paw? That sounds intriguing. Do you have it with you? Can we see it?
Herbert, mind your manners.
Well, it's just an ordinary paw. Tried to look like a mummy, you see. Here.
Oh my, just look at it.
It looks... well...
Fascinating. And what's so special about it?
There's a legend of a spell being put on it. It's said to be magic.
How so?
Why don't I put this away? After all, we're all a bit too old for fairy tales and the like.
Now, you walked the road all the way out here to the countryside. You can see there isn't much to do in these parts. A good story is all we can get sometimes.
Yes. Please tell us, Sergeant.
I don't know.
Now, Sergeant Morris, you've come all this way to visit. We've got the whole evening to kill. No harm in telling us your fairy tale.
Well, if you insist, the paw is said to grant 3 wishes.
Indeed. And are there people that really believe that? Do they use the paw to make wishes?
The fellow that gave it to me certainly implied so. He was certain to warn me to be careful with my wishes. He said that your wishes come true in ways that you might not expect. Ways that might make you rethink your wishes.
How intriguing.
Have you used it yourself, Sergeant? Just to test it out?
I did.
What did you...
Herbert, hold your tongue.
It's just a bit of fun, Mom.
There is nothing fun about this paw. It must be used wisely, even humbly.
If you've already used your 3 wishes, then it's no good to you now, Morris. What do you keep it for?
Fancy, I suppose. I had some idea of selling it, but I don't think I will. It's caused me too much trouble as it is. Besides, people won't buy. They think it's just a story, and those who believe me will want to try it first and pay me afterward.
Pardon me, Sergeant. If you could have another 3 wishes, would you use them?
Absolutely not. Not for anything. Perhaps it's best to just toss it in the fire and let it burn. Mist. Figures.
Now, there's no need for that, Morris. If you don't want it, give it to me.
I won't. I throw it at the fire if you keep it. Don't hold me responsible for what happens. If you're a sensible man, you'll pick it up and toss it in the fire and leave it.
I'm going to give it a try. How does it work?
Just hold it in your hand and say your wish aloud. But I warn of what might happen.
You're right, Sergeant Morris. This is quite like a fairy tale. Think you could wish for another pair of hands for me?
No. If you must wish for something sensible.
How about money? We can always use that.
Yes, of course. How much would we need to finally pay off this house?
$200 exactly.
Well, then I wish for $200. Ah!
What is it, dear? What's wrong?
The paw! As soon as I made the wish, it moved.
Now, darling, be sensible.
It did. I felt it. It clenched into a fist right in my hand, I tell you.
Really? Then let's see it.
It looks just like it did a moment ago.
It must have unclenched again as I dropped it. But I tell you, I felt it move.
If you say so.
Okay, but what about the wish? I don't see any money raining from the sky. It's still just a rainstorm.
Well,
Excuse me, but I believe I've overstayed my welcome. It's getting late and I really should be leaving.
But it's still pouring out there, and you've only just arrived. Can you really not stay?
I'm afraid not, my dear Mrs. White, but it was a pleasure visiting with you all again.
yes. I hope you can return again soon.
Me too. Well, farewell.
Well, he was certainly right about it being late. I think I'm gonna turn in for the night.
Me too.
Coming to bed, dear.
Oh, yes, in a minute. I just want to study this paw some more.
All right, don't be too late now.
I swore I felt it move.
Good morning, Herbert. How did you sleep?
Fine, Mom.
Breakfast?
Just a quick cup of tea, I'm afraid. I've got to get off to work. Morning, Pa. Don't suppose that $200 appeared while we were all sleeping, did it?
No, I don't suppose it did. Not that any of us really believed.
Oh, of course not. I suppose all old soldiers are the same. The idea of our listening to such nonsense and that warning he gave us, how could $200 be a bad thing?
Maybe it'll fall out of the sky and drop right on our heads.
Very funny, son. Don't you have a job to get to?
Yes, I should head on out. Don't spend any of that $200 before I get back, you hear?
It's getting awful late. I should start getting supper ready.
I suppose we'll hear more of Herbert's funny remarks when he gets back.
Yes, it is quite a silly thing, isn't it?
But as silly as it seems, I know I felt it move in my hand.
You thought it did.
I say, it did. I know it, I felt it. What's the matter?
There's someone coming up the road.
Herbert, I'm sure. And about time, too. He's later than usual.
It isn't Herbert. This chap is a bit taller. And he's in a suit?
A suit? The road is practically a marsh. Who would walk all the way out here in a suit?
Well, come look for yourself if you don't believe me.
Odd. He stopped just at the porch. Why won't he knock?
I don't like this. He's acting rather strange.
Look, there. He's turned and begun to walk away.
Yes, and now he's coming towards us again. What is he doing?
Quiet. He's coming onto the porch.
I'll answer it. Why, this lopsided door. I can never get the thing open. Come in, sir. Come in.
Thank you.
How can we help you, sir?
I was asked to call. I come from Ma and Megan's.
The factory? Is something the matter? Oh dear, has something happened to Herbert? What is it? What is it?
Now, let's not jump to conclusions. Sit down. Sit down. Surely you've not brought us bad news, sir.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I knew it. Is he hurt? Is he hurt?
Badly hurt, I'm afraid, ma'am, but he isn't in any pain.
Oh, good. Thank goodness for that.
Dear.
I'm sorry. I don't think you quite took my meaning. He was badly hurt, but isn't in pain any longer.
Oh no.
He was caught in the machinery.
Caught in the machinery? You'll have to forgive us, sir. Herbert was all we had left. It is hard.
The firm wishes me to pass on their great sadness about your loss. I ask that you please understand that I am only their servant and simply doing what they told me to do.
I see.
I was asked to say that Ma and Megan's accept no responsibility, but although they don't believe they have a legal requirement to make a payment to you for your loss, in view of your son's services, they wish to present you with a certain sum.
A sum?
How much?
$200.
He's fainted!
Come back to bed, dear. You'll get cold.
It is colder for my son. A week it's been, and I miss him so.
I know. So do I. What? What's wrong?
The paw! The monkey's paw!
Where? Where is it? What's the matter?
I want it. You've not destroyed it.
It's in the living room, on the shelf above the fireplace. Why?
I've only just thought of it. Why didn't I think of it before? Why didn't you think of it?
Think of what?
The other two wishes. We've only had one.
Was that not enough?
No! We'll have one more! Go down and get it quickly and wish our boy alive again!
You're mad.
Get it, please! Get it quickly and wish! Oh, my boy!
Go back to bed. You don't know what you're saying.
We've had the first wish granted. Why not the second?
It was a coincidence.
I don't believe that! And neither do you! You said you felt it move! Now go get it and bring back our Herbert!
He's been dead 10 days. And besides, I didn't want to tell you before, but I could only recognize him by his clothing. If he was too terrible for you to see then,
Bring him back! I could never be afraid of him! I gave birth to him! I nursed him! I raised him! Go get my son!
I've got it.
Wish.
It's foolish. Wicked.
Wish!
I wish my son alive again.
I'll see her by the window. I'll see him coming.
I'm going to bed. It's been an hour, dear. Come to bed.
What was that?
A rat. Had to be a rat downstairs.
It's Herbert! It's Herbert!
Wait, what are you going to do?
It's my boy! It's Herbert! I forgot the cemetery was 2 miles away! What are you holding me back for? Let go! I must open the door!
For God's sake, don't let that thing in!
You're afraid of your own son? Let me go! I'm coming, Herbert! I'm coming! The deadbolt! Come downstairs! I can't reach it!
Come on, where is it? Where did I drop it?
Never mind, I'm getting a chair. Just a minute, Herbert! I'm right here! I'm here, Herbert!
Oh God, I wish whatever was at that door would go away!
Herbert? He isn't here. Oh, Herbert, he's not here.
I'm coming!
He isn't here. 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 He isn't here.
Interested in supporting local youth theater? Consider donating to the Elkins High School Theater Department.
Your donation would help future shows like this one. To donate, you can send checks or cash.
Checks can be made out to the EHS Theater Department and mailed to Miss Armstrong at Elkins High School, 100 Kennedy Drive, Elkins, West Virginia, 26241. Thank you for your support.